Alright, I'm gonna go through a build right quick that I came up with here. It's gonna be pretty short. Pretty much the aim of this build though is a tank with a lot of DPS where it can fit in. So basically we're starting off with custom P4 16G3. It's a nice gun, especially for PvP with its RPMs along with the F2000. For assault rifles, once you pretty much get your clip for your light extended, plus 10 rounds, critical hit chance, just to put some more damage out, critical hit damage chance, more critical hit chance. Talents, I have Optimist, just so you can get that extra weapon damage towards the end of your magazine, 20% magazine. Third talent, pretty much you run what you want. For the F2000, freaking another, the RPMs are just ridiculous on these weapons. Critical hit damage, again, doesn't have a side piece to put the crit hit chance, but you can put it on top for the 5%, and then again, light extended for the 10 rounds extra. Again, Optimist, extra weapon damage. Recharge is pretty nice since you can get your skills for your chem launcher up to a little bit for a little bit longer heal. Next, I'm rocking the Liberty. It's not going to really do much in this case of PvP. You can run what you want on your sidearm. Not going to be using it too much. For the mask, I have a Gilligard. Mainly the Gilligard, since you can get a utility slot for some to get that 7 requirement for on the ropes is what you're wanting to try and find. Health is probably what you want to go for PvP, and then I have Spotter on for the 20% weapon damage to pulsed enemies. Gilligard also gives that 5% total armor, so you can have a little bit extra. Next, we got this backpack here. That's Murakami Industries. I haven't been able to find a better backpack that has the same rules that I'm looking at on this one. Pretty much, if you can get one that has hardened and on the ropes on it, and it's a Murakami, that would be pretty good. Yet to find one though. Got 2 armor rolls on it for the 15.5% total armor and the 5,000. There's a red roll on there too. That's more than likely what, if you could find one with hardened and on the ropes already on it, and a red slot, I would take that for the increased weapon damage. On chest piece here, I got Extreme, and it's a Alp Summit. You get a cooldown reduction, which isn't too bad, but basically with it, I've had a nice harden on it again for the extra armor. Pretty good armor rolls on it also. I think I had that 32,000 armor just rolled on it when I picked it up, and then there's a nice chest piece and the clan vendor for 25% total armor that I rolled onto it. Get you another utility slot, another defensive, which this defensive protocol mod slot is pretty good. It has a 3% extra healing, which helps a little bit, and then of course that offensive system mod, since you're going to be running assault rifle damage, and then just the overall weapon damage bonus. On the gloves, this is where pretty much the main part of the build is, along with it. Compensated for that extra weapon damage when your crit hit chances below 20%. You can't stack very many reds with this build, but that's where compensated, your pulse for spotter comes into play. 14,000 health. If you could get something else besides the I mean, you could take maybe cooldown. Skill power isn't a whole lot impressive on this build, since you're wanting your skills to last on the cooldowns for on the ropes, and so pretty much if you get skill cooldown, be better there. Weapon damage, again compensated. For the holster, it's pretty much going to have to be an ongoing directive, just because you can get the extra utility slots to get that 7 requirement. I've yet to been able to find any other piece that pretty much goes with this build and still gives me the 7 requirement without using an ongoing directive. So it's pretty much only to hit that requirement. Again, you have 1 red on here for crit hit chance or crit hit damage. Crit hit chance, I'll show you in a second at what I'm sitting at, and I kind of like it where it's at. I wouldn't really increase it unless it was crit hit damage. Again, the skill power is not really mattering too much. On the knee pads, these are my favorite. I run them on pretty much most of my builds. I have armor regen along with patience, so you're just getting as much armor back per second while in cover as you possibly can. Again, they have that assault rifle damage on there too, since you're going to be running assault rifle. You want Fenris. Good armor roll. I think I can get up to about 16,000 on an armor roll, but I'm still waiting to pick up another piece for that. And of course you have your pulse. So the main purpose of this build is your pulse to go along with your spotter. The spotter is going to give you a 20% weapon damage to the pulsed enemies. So once you do pulse them, that duration is going to last for about 10 seconds. So you want to be hitting whoever you have pulsed quite a bit while they have that, just to do the damage that you can into them. Next part is going to be the chem launcher. So basically you want to be dropping your chem launchers right for when that pulse runs out and it goes on cooldown. You're going to have at 81 seconds to just be dropping chems on the ground to be having on the ropes active, which is your 25% weapon damage. Pretty much you just keep constantly dropping your chem launchers so that it's on cooldown constantly. Drop them when you're in cover so you get extra healing, especially in fights, since patience is going to be helping out quite a bit. For this, I have sharpshooter for the specialization. I really like the headshot damage. So I mean, I know there's a lot of people who run demolitionist for the AR damage, or like LMG. Really, it's just your playstyle, however you like. It's up to you on what you want to run there. Let me show you the stats now.
Agent in need of backup.
Pretty much, here's everything. Those are the weapons, and then down here. So with the specific attachments that you have, you can, and my holster being 8.5 on the crit hit chance, I can set this at 18.5, which is right under that 20% to still get the weapon damage bonus, but also have a nice crit hit chance, so you're hitting some, and then that 30% crit hit damage comes in effect whenever you hit a crit. Like I said, headshots, that's how I like to play. If people are trying to stay in cover and just face off with you, more than likely they're not running specialization for sharpshooter, and you're going to end up melting them off of headshots damage just because you have that gigantic bonus. Down here, 14% assault rifle damage. It's pretty much coming from going to be my mod slots, and then there's a 2% there. The rest of it is pretty much coming from all the weapon damage bonuses. Yeah, on that. What else do I have on here? The armor. There's a little bit of the skills. Like I said, they're not too big on this build. And then pretty much that's the entire build, but the biggest thing is the armor. As you can see, 417,000 armor is really painful for those DPS builds where they're sitting at usually 260,000 is usually what they're sitting about on their armor. And with how much damage you're outputting, with how much fire power you're outputting in these, it pretty much is able to drop them faster than they're able to drop you by going through a whole nother 200,000, 150,000 armor that they have to go through. So by the time they're finishing you off, especially with the help of your teammates, if you're playing conflict mainly or running the DZ, you can hold yourself up and have them focus fire on you while your teammates who are running those DPS builds end up killing them a lot faster. But yeah, that's pretty much it on it. I don't know, I haven't seen really this kind of build anywhere else specifically with the armor, but there are some out there. Yeah, thanks.